Misconceptions about weight loss. Most people believe that losing weight is 50% dieting and 50% exercise. But in reality, diet and exercise together only account for about 25% of your success. Another 25% comes from getting high-quality sleep. And the remaining 500%? That's actually following through with your plan. This might sound exaggerated, but if you've ever tried to lose weight before, you know how true it is. We all start with motivation, feeling ready to take on the challenge. But as days go by, cravings kick in, life gets busy, and suddenly, that one cheat meal turns into an entire week off track. This is where most people fail, not because their diet or workout was wrong, but because they couldn't stick to the plan consistently. What health experts and experienced dieters say. To really understand what it takes to lose weight successfully, I reached out to health experts, fitness coaches, and people who have lost a significant amount of weight and kept it off. Their experiences revealed a pattern. The truth about diet and exercise, only 25%. Personal trainers emphasize that nutrition is crucial, but simply eating healthy doesn't guarantee weight loss unless you're in a calorie deficit. Exercise is important for overall health and muscle retention, but many people overestimate how many calories they burn. You can't outrun a bad diet. As one trainer put it, what really matters is finding a way to eat and move that you can sustain long-term. Why sleep is just as important, another 25%. Doctors and sleep specialists warn that lack of sleep messes with your hunger hormones, making you crave high-calorie foods. A study in sleep science showed that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night tend to store more fat, even if they eat the same number of calories as those who sleep 7 to 9 hours. One fitness enthusiast who struggled with weight loss for years said that fixing his sleep schedule made him lose weight almost effortlessly. The hardest part? Actually sticking to the plan, the remaining 50%. A weight loss success story. One woman lost 50 pounds not by finding the perfect diet, but by finally committing to following the plan no matter what. The hardest part isn't choosing what to eat, it's choosing to stay disciplined even when you don't feel like it. A nutritionist explained. Those who succeed build systems that make healthy choices easier, like meal prepping in advance, keeping junk food out of the house, and setting reminders to stay on track. The reality check. Willpower isn't enough. One thing I kept hearing over and over from experts and real people was this: you can't rely on willpower alone. It's a limited resource. If you constantly force yourself to resist temptation, you'll eventually give in. Instead, successful people set up their environment for success. Checkmark, they prepare their meals in advance. Checkmark, they remove unhealthy foods from easy reach. Checkmark, they make workouts as effortless as possible by planning them ahead. They don't just hope to stick to their diet, they make it the easiest choice. The key takeaway: if you want to make weight loss almost impossible to fail, don't just focus on diet and exercise. Instead, optimize your sleep and create a system that makes following your plan effortless. This is what separates those who reach their goals from those who start over every Monday. Next, let's talk about how to get inspired and set a realistic goal that keeps you motivated. How to make weight loss almost impossible to fail. Many people start their weight loss journey full of motivation, only to lose steam after a few days or weeks. The key to success isn't just discipline, it's creating a system where failure is nearly impossible. If you set up the right structure, you won't have to rely on willpower alone. Here's how to do it. Find your source of inspiration. Most people have a moment that sparks their desire to change. Maybe you saw someone fitter than you and felt a pang of envy. Maybe you caught your reflection in a store window and didn't recognize yourself. Maybe it was an old photo that made you realize how much your body has changed. That initial burst of motivation is powerful, but short-lived. Studies show that inspiration can push you to start, but it rarely lasts longer than a day or two. This is why people often begin their weight loss journey feeling energized, but then lose interest quickly, turning inspiration into a long-term drive. To avoid letting your motivation fade, transform it into a clear and meaningful goal. Ask yourself, why do I really want to lose weight? Not just to be thinner, but deeper reasons, like feeling confident, preventing health issues, or having more energy. What happens if I don't make a change? Think about the long-term consequences of staying the same. What would my future self thank me for? Picture yourself 6 months from now. How would you feel if you followed through? By writing these thoughts down, you create a personal reminder of why this journey matters. Successful people don't just rely on a fleeting emotional high. They use their why as a daily anchor to keep going. Set specific, time-bound goals. A vague goal like, I want to lose weight, won't help you stay focused. Your brain needs a clear target to work towards. A well-defined goal looks like this. Checkmark. I will lose 5 kilograms by July 1st. And another 5 kilograms by August 1st. Why does this work? Because it gives you a clear direction. You know exactly what success looks like. It creates urgency. A deadline prevents procrastination. It allows for measurable progress. You can track your results over time. The psychology of small wins. Experts in habit formation say that seeing progress is one of the biggest motivators. Instead of focusing only on the big goal, losing 10 kilograms. Break it down. Week 1. Lose 1 kilogram. Week 2. Lose another 1 kilogram. Week 3. Stay consistent. Even if weight loss slows down. By celebrating small wins, you create a cycle of success that keeps you moving forward. Create a realistic, detailed plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Many people fail at weight loss because they don't map out how they'll achieve their target. Let's say your current breakfast is croissant peanut butter toast plus sake milk plus bowl with spoon cereal. A more weight loss friendly option could be man running 1 mile jog plus strawberry 15 strawberries plus egg 3 boiled eggs. This small change alone could help you shed weight within weeks. But making changes at random won't work. You need a structured plan. Building a plan that works for you. Food adjustments. Swap high-calorie, processed foods for whole, nutrient-dense options. Make meals protein-rich to stay full longer. Plan ahead so you're not left making last-minute unhealthy choices. Exercise strategy. Choose a form of exercise you actually enjoy. It doesn't have to be running. Set minimum targets, e.g. 30 minutes of movement daily. Schedule workouts like important meetings, non-negotiable. Daily routine tweaks. Sleep earlier to regulate hunger hormones. Drink more water throughout the day. Reduce stress. Chronic stress leads to emotional eating. By personalizing your plan, you make it realistic and sustainable, increasing your chances of long-term success. Set up your environment for success. You might think you're committed to losing weight, but what does your kitchen say? If your fridge is still stocked with peanut butter, jelly, and white bread, then deep down, you're not truly prepared to change. How to make healthy choices the easy choices. Stock up on the right foods. Fill your fridge with lean proteins, fruits, and vegetables. Pre-cut and prepare snacks so they're as convenient as junk food. Keep unhealthy foods out of sight, or don't buy them at all. Prepare in advance. Meal prep so you're never scrambling for a last-minute unhealthy option. Keep a water bottle nearby to ensure proper hydration. Lay out workout clothes the night before to eliminate excuses. Remove temptations. If certain foods trigger overeating, don't keep them in the house. Replace mindless snacking with healthier habits, e.g. drinking tea instead of eating chips. Remind yourself, if it's in your home, you will eat it, making failure unlikely. The secret to long-term weight loss isn't willpower, it's automation. If healthy habits are easier than unhealthy ones, you'll naturally make better choices. That's why successful people create an environment where their goals become effortless. Most weight loss failures happen because people rely only on motivation and discipline. The real secret? Set up your life in a way that makes weight loss automatic. To recap, checkmark: find your deep reason for losing weight, beyond just looking good. Checkmark: set clear, time-bound goals to keep yourself accountable. Checkmark: plan ahead so you never have to figure it out in the moment. Checkmark: make healthy choices easier than unhealthy ones. If you do these 4 things, losing weight will feel less like a battle and more like a natural outcome of your daily routine. Willpower and overcoming temptations. Losing weight isn't just about diet and exercise, it's about winning the mental battle. There will be moments when temptations hit hard, and your mind will try to convince you to give in. Maybe you're out with friends at a restaurant, staring at a menu full of high-calorie meals. Your brain starts negotiating with you. It's just one cheat meal. I'll start for real tomorrow. This is a trap. I'll eat less later to make up for this. Maybe I should just switch to muscle gain instead. Sounds familiar? These little justifications are what lead people to failure. The good news? You can train your willpower to resist them. How to strengthen your willpower? Most people think willpower is about being strong enough to say no. But science shows that willpower is like a muscle. It gets tired the more you use it. That's why relying on sheer discipline alone isn't sustainable. Instead, successful people set up their lives so they don't have to rely on willpower all the time. A simple trick: make saying no easier. Instead of debating with yourself in the moment, decide in advance what you'll do in tempting situations. For example, checkmark going to a restaurant? Look at the menu beforehand and choose a healthy option. Checkmark craving dessert? Have a pre-planned alternative, e.g. Greek yogurt with berries. Checkmark late night snack urge? Set a rule. The kitchen is closed after 8 p.m. By making these choices ahead of time, you take emotions out of the decision. You don't have to fight yourself every time. You just follow the plan. Personal experience. How I beat cravings. I used to struggle with late night snacking. I'd tell myself, one small snack won't hurt. But that one snack often turned into a full meal. So, I set one simple rule: no eating after 8 p.m. At first, it was tough, but within 2 weeks, my body adapted, and those late night cravings disappeared. The lesson? Your body and mind adjust to what you consistently do. Avoiding temptation is smarter than fighting it. One of the biggest weight loss myths is that strong people have more willpower. The truth? They just design their environment to avoid temptation. Light bulb example. The cookie experiment. A study showed that people who kept a jar of cookies on their desk ate several times more cookies than those who kept it across the room. Those who had to physically get up and walk to another room ate almost none. Right finger the takeaway? If it's within easy reach, you'll eat it. If it's not, you won't. How to set yourself up for success. Control your food environment. Don't keep junk food at home. If it's there, you'll eat it. Keep healthy snacks easily accessible. Fruit on the counter. Pre-cut veggies in the fridge. Serve food on smaller plates to naturally eat less. Plan for social situations. Eat a healthy snack before going out so you're not starving. Order first at a restaurant. This prevents you from being influenced by what others get. Tell your friends your goal. It makes you accountable. Remove decision fatigue. Have a meal plan so you don't make impulsive food choices. Prep meals in advance so you don't grab unhealthy options. Set up a simple exercise routine, same time, same place, no decisions needed. By making the right choice the easiest choice, you don't have to rely on willpower at all. Turning your plan into a habit. If you've ever struggled with weight loss, you've probably tried using motivation alone. The problem? Motivation fades. Habits last. The science of habit formation. When you do something enough times, it stops feeling like a decision and becomes automatic. Think about car driving. You don't consciously think about every action. Toothbrush brushing your teeth, it's just part of your routine. Weight loss should work the same way. How to make healthy habits stick. Start small and stay consistent. Instead of aiming for 100% perfection, aim for small, daily wins. A 10-minute workout is better than nothing. A slightly healthier meal is better than a perfect diet you can't sustain. Use habit stacking. Attach new habits to existing ones. After I brush my teeth, I drink a glass of water. This makes the new behavior easier to remember and repeat. Shift your identity. Instead of saying, I'm trying to lose weight, say, I'm the kind of person who eats healthy and exercises. Your brain works hard to stay consistent with your identity. If you see yourself as a healthy person, you'll act accordingly. When your lifestyle becomes automatic, at some point, you won't have to try to eat healthy or exercise. It'll just be what you do. You'll crave healthy food because it makes you feel good. You'll work out because your day feels incomplete without it. That's when you know you've won. Final thoughts. The power of small, smart choices. The difference between success and failure isn't about being super disciplined. It's about making small, smart choices every day. To recap, checkmark willpower is limited. Avoid temptation instead of fighting it. Checkmark pre-plan your responses to common situations. Checkmark design your environment so the healthy choice is the easy choice. Checkmark turn your plan into an automatic habit, not a daily struggle. If you do this consistently, Weight loss stops being an uphill battle. It becomes part of who you are. How to track your weight loss progress. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to lose weight is not tracking their progress properly. They step on the scale every day, expecting instant results, and when they don't see a big change, they get discouraged and quit. The truth? Fat loss isn't always visible right away, and weight fluctuates daily due to factors like water retention, food intake, and muscle gain. The key is tracking consistently and focusing on long-term trends, not daily numbers. The most accurate way to track progress. If you want to know whether your efforts are working, use multiple tracking methods instead of relying solely on the scale. The 3 best ways to track fat loss. Keycap 1 Progress photos. Take pictures from the front, side, and back once a week. Wear the same clothes and use the same lighting to see changes more clearly. Even if the scale doesn't change, photos often show real progress, especially in areas like the waist and face. Keycap 2 Weekly weigh-ins, not daily. Weigh yourself only once a week, preferably at the same time, e.g. morning after using the bathroom. Weight fluctuates daily due to water retention, hormones, and digestion. Don't panic over small ups and downs. Compare this week's weight to last week's, not yesterday's, to see the real trend. Keycap 3 Measurements and clothing fit. Measure your waist, hips, thighs, and arms every 2 weeks. Pay attention to how your clothes fit. If your jeans feel looser, you're making progress, even if the scale doesn't move. Why the scale alone can be misleading. Many people obsess over the number on the scale, but weight doesn't tell the full story. Body composition, fat versus muscle, matters more than total weight. Light bulb example. Imagine 2 people who both weigh 150 pounds. One has 30% body fat, and the other has 15% body fat. They will look completely different. When you start working out, your weight might stay the same or even go up slightly because you're gaining muscle while losing fat. That's why it's important to use photos and measurements, not just the scale. My personal experience with scale frustration. A few years ago, I started weight training while dieting. I expected the scale to drop fast, but after a month, I had only lost 2 pounds. I felt frustrated until I looked at my progress photos. My waist was smaller, my arms looked toned, and my clothes fit better. That's when I realized the scale wasn't telling the full story. Since then, I've always told people, don't just trust the scale, trust the mirror. Your clothes, and how you feel. What to do if you don't see immediate results. If you've been eating well and exercising but don't see changes, don't panic. Here's what might be happening. Small diamond: your body is losing fat in hidden areas first. Fat loss doesn't happen evenly. You might first lose fat in areas you don't notice, like internal fat around organs, before seeing changes in your arms or stomach. Small diamond: you're holding onto water weight. Eating salty foods, hormonal changes, or stress can cause water retention. If your weight spikes overnight, it's not fat gain, it's just water weight. Small diamond: you're gaining muscle while losing fat. Muscle is denser than fat, so even if your weight stays the same, your body might be getting leaner. This is why progress photos and measurements matter more than the scale. How to stay motivated when results are slow. Checkmark: trust the process. Fat loss takes time. If you're eating in a calorie deficit and moving more, you are making progress, even if it's not obvious yet. Checkmark: focus on non-scale victories. Notice how your energy levels, strength, and mood improve. Checkmark: be patient. Many people quit right before they start seeing results. Keep going. How to track your progress like a pro. If you're serious about losing weight and keeping it off, consistency is key. Here's a simple tracking routine. Camera with flash every week. Take progress photos, same clothes, same lighting. Weigh yourself once, not daily. Write down how your clothes fit and how you feel. Straight ruler every 2 weeks. Measure your waist, hips, thighs, and arms. Check how workouts feel. Are you getting stronger? Bar graph every month. Compare photos and measurements. Look for small changes over time. They add up. The best way to track your weight loss isn't just through the scale, it's through a combination of photos, measurements, clothing fit, and overall well-being. To recap, checkmark: progress photos show real changes that the scale might not. Checkmark: weigh yourself weekly, not daily. To avoid frustration, Checkmark track measurements and clothing fit to see true fat loss. Checkmark stay patient. Fat loss isn't always visible immediately. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. If you track smartly and consistently, you'll stay motivated and know exactly what's working for you. The fundamental principles of fat loss. When it comes to fat loss, the science is simple, but the execution can be challenging. Many people get caught up in trendy diets, complicated meal plans, or extreme workout routines, when in reality, fat loss boils down to one key principle. You must consume fewer calories than your body burns. The trick is finding a sustainable approach that fits your lifestyle so you can maintain results long-term. Let's break it down step by step. You must eat fewer calories than you burn. This is the foundation of fat loss. If your body burns more calories than you consume, it will tap into stored fat for energy. Caloric deficit example. If your body burns 2.000 calories per day, eating 1.700 kilocalories per day, right pointing arrows, slow but steady fat loss. Eating 1.500 kilocalories per day, right pointing arrow, faster fat loss, but harder to sustain. Eating 1.200 kilocalories per day, right pointing arrow, too low, can slow metabolism and cause muscle loss. Light bulb my experience. Years ago, I tried an aggressive calorie deficit, eating only 1.200 kilocalories per day. The weight dropped quickly, but after a few weeks, I felt exhausted, moody, and constantly hungry. Eventually, I gave up and regained the weight. Lesson learned. Fat loss should be sustainable, not extreme. The key to success? Find a calorie deficit that allows steady fat loss without making you miserable. Most people do well with a 300 to 500 calorie deficit per day, which leads to 0.5 to 1 kilogram, 1-2 pounds, of fat loss per week. How to determine your caloric needs? The easiest way to find out how many calories you should eat is by using an online calorie calculator, like TDEE calculators. However, these are just estimates. Your actual needs depend on factors like metabolism, activity level, and muscle mass. A simple step-by-step approach. Keycap 1. Use an online TDEE calculator to estimate how many calories you burn daily. Keycap 2. Subtract 300 to 500 kilocalories from that number to create a calorie deficit. Keycap 3. Track your progress for 2 to 3 weeks. Keycap 4. If you're not losing weight, adjust by cutting another 200 to 300 kilocalories or increasing activity. Light bulb pro tip from fitness experts. Instead of obsessing over exact calorie numbers, focus on consistency. If you're not losing weight after 3 to 4 weeks, your calorie intake is too high, adjust accordingly. What if you hit a plateau? At some point, your body will adapt, and weight loss may slow down. When this happens, checkmark reduce calories slightly, but not too much. Checkmark increase activity, e.g. add 10 to 15 more minutes of walking or strength training. Checkmark stay patient. Plateaus are normal. The problem with calorie counting, and how to fix it. Counting calories can be a powerful tool, but it's not always 100% accurate. Many people unknowingly underestimate their calorie intake, which can stall fat loss. Common mistakes when counting calories. Crossmark eyeballing portions instead of measuring. Crossmark ignoring hidden calories, e.g. cooking oils, sauces, dressings. Crossmark not accounting for liquid calories, e.g. smoothies, coffee with cream and sugar. Crossmark overestimating calorie burn from exercise. Light bulb example. You might think your bowl of pasta is 400 kilocalories. But after measuring, you realize it's actually 700 kilocalories. This is why many people struggle to lose weight even when they think they're eating less. How to improve accuracy. Checkmark use a food scale to measure portions accurately. Checkmark read nutrition labels carefully. Checkmark track food intake in an app, like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. Checkmark if estimating. Overestimate rather than underestimate. My personal take on calorie counting. Thought ballooned. I recommend calorie counting? Yes, but only as a learning tool. When I first started tracking calories, I was shocked at how much I was actually eating. It helped me understand portion sizes and make better choices. However, I don't believe you need to track forever. Once you get a feel for appropriate portions, You can rely more on mindful eating and habits. Many experienced fitness professionals don't count calories daily, they focus on nutrient-dense foods, portion control, and habits instead. The sustainable approach to fat loss. At the end of the day, fat loss is simple but not always easy. The key is consistency and sustainability. To sum it up, checkmark fat loss requires a calorie deficit, no way around it. Checkmark find a deficit that works for you. 300 to 500 kilocalories per day is a good starting point. Checkmark use calorie tracking as a tool, but don't obsess over it. Checkmark if progress stalls. Adjust your intake or increase activity. Checkmark be patient. Real results take time. The best diet is the one you can stick to long-term without feeling miserable. A nutrition plan for effective fat loss. A good fat loss diet isn't about starving yourself or following extreme restrictions. It's about making smart food choices that fuel your body and keep you full. Too often, people focus on cutting out entire food groups. But the real key is understanding macronutrients and prioritizing whole, nutrient-dense foods. Let's dive into what actually works when it comes to nutrition for fat loss. The most important macronutrients, calories and protein. Calories matter most. At the end of the day, fat loss comes down to calories in versus calories out. You could eat only healthy foods, but if you're consuming too many calories, you won't lose fat. Protein is your best friend. Helps preserve muscle while in a calorie deficit. Keeps you full longer compared to carbs or fats. Boosts metabolism due to the high thermic effect of food, TEF. Light bulb example. Imagine two diets. Keycap 1 high protein, chicken, fish, tofu, eggs, Greek yogurt, lentils. Keycap 2 low protein, chips, pasta, white bread, candy bars. Both diets could have the same calorie count. But the high-protein diet will keep you full, support your muscle, and improve body composition. Carbs and fats. The truth. Fat isn't bad, but it's calorie-dense. Butter, cheese, oils, nuts. Carbs don't make you fat, but highly processed carbs, cakes, cookies, white bread, lead to overeating and energy crashes. Checkmark what works? Prioritize whole carbs, brown rice, oats, sweet potatoes, and healthy fats, avocados, nuts, olive oil, while keeping an eye on portion sizes. How to eat without counting calories. Not everyone wants to track calories daily. And that's okay. You can still lose fat by focusing on food quality and portion control. The simplest approach. Checkmark base your meals around whole, unprocessed foods, right pointing arrow vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains. Checkmark reduce ultra-processed foods, right pointing arrow fast food, sugary snacks, refined carbs. Checkmark limit snacking, right pointing arrow except for healthy options like fruit, nuts, and veggies. Light bulb my experience. At one point, I was tracking every single calorie, and it became stressful. When I switched to prioritizing whole foods instead, I naturally ate less, felt more satisfied, and continued losing fat without obsessing over numbers. What experts say. Studies show that eating whole foods leads to lower calorie intake naturally because they are more satiating and nutrient-dense. Try this simple swap. Cross-mark white bread plus butter, right pointing arrow. Checkmark whole grain toast plus avocado. Cross-mark sugary cereal, right pointing arrow. Checkmark oatmeal with nuts and berries. Cross-mark fast food burger, right pointing arrow. Checkmark grilled chicken plus veggies. Useful nutrition hacks for fat loss. These small changes can make a big difference in your fat loss journey. Keycap 1 drink more water. Often, we mistake thirst for hunger. Drinking 500 milliliters of water before meals can reduce calorie intake. Staying hydrated boosts metabolism and energy levels. Light bulb my tip. I always carry a 1L water bottle to remind myself to drink throughout the day. Keycap 2 avoid liquid calories. Soda, fruit juice, and bubble tea add hundreds of hidden calories. Even healthy drinks like smoothies can be calorie bombs if not portioned correctly. Rocket solution. Stick to water, black coffee, tea, or zero-calorie drinks. Keycap 3 use low-calorie swaps. Instead of cutting out foods completely, use lower-calorie versions. Checkmark low-fat cheese instead of regular cheese. Checkmark cauliflower rice instead of white rice. Checkmark keto bread instead of white bread. Keycap 4 prioritize high-fiber foods. Fiber keeps you full longer. Reducing cravings. Found in vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. Light bulb example. Swapping white rice for quinoa can double your fiber intake, keeping you satisfied for hours. Keycap 5 use smaller plates. Studies show that people eat less when using smaller plates. Visual tricks like filling half your plate with vegetables help control portions without feeling deprived. Fat loss isn't about suffering or deprivation, it's about making small, sustainable changes that add up over time. The takeaways. Checkmark calories and protein are the most important factors for fat loss. Checkmark eating whole, minimally processed foods helps you naturally reduce calories. Checkmark simple nutrition hacks can make a big difference. Checkmark you don't need to count calories forever, just build better habits. If you focus on nourishing your body with the right foods, fat loss will happen naturally and sustainably. Exercise to support fat loss. Fat loss isn't just about what you eat, it's also about how much you move. Exercise helps boost metabolism, burn extra calories, and maintain muscle mass, making your fat loss journey easier and more effective. However, you don't need to spend hours in the gym to lose weight. The key is finding a movement routine that works for you and making it a consistent part of your lifestyle. Strength training, weightlifting, the best fat loss tool. When it comes to losing fat and keeping it off, weightlifting is king. Why strength training is essential. Checkmark builds muscle. Right pointing arrow. More muscle means higher resting metabolism, so you burn more calories even at rest. Checkmark prevents muscle loss. Right pointing arrow. When losing weight, you don't want to lose muscle, only fat. Checkmark boosts metabolism. Right pointing arrow. After lifting weights, your body burns extra calories for hours. This is called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Light bulb. My experience. When I first started my fat loss journey, I focused only on cardio. I lost weight, but I looked skinny fat because I had no muscle definition. Once I added weightlifting 3 to 4 times a week, my body transformed. I looked leaner, stronger, and more toned. How to start strength training. 2 to 4 sessions per week is enough. Focus on compound movements, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, rows. Bodyweight exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, lunges, are a great start. Progressive overload. Right pointing arrows slowly increase weight or reps over time. Light bulb expert tip. Women often fear getting bulky from lifting weights, but that's a myth. Strength training helps create a toned, athletic look rather than just being thin. Walking more, the secret cheat code for fat loss. Most people underestimate the power of walking. It's low effort, easy to do, and burns a surprising number of calories. Why walking works for fat loss. Checkmark low stress on the body. Right pointing arrow. Unlike intense cardio, walking doesn't spike hunger hormones. Checkmark can be done anywhere, anytime. Right pointing arrow. No gym needed. Checkmark easier to stay consistent. Right pointing arrow. You're more likely to stick with walking than a hard workout. Light bulb simple goal. Aim for at least 7.000 to 10.000 steps per day. If you're not used to walking much, start with 5.000 steps and increase over time. Walking after meals can help with digestion and blood sugar control. Light bulb. What works for me. I started by taking the stairs instead of the elevator and walking during phone calls. Over time, walking became a habit, and I felt more energetic throughout the day. Cardio, good for fat loss, but not necessary. Cardio burns extra calories, but it's not required for fat loss. Many people overdo cardio and then feel exhausted, hungry, and frustrated when they don't see results. The role of cardio in fat loss. Checkmark good for heart health. Checkmark helps burn extra calories. Checkmark can be enjoyable if you find the right type. Light bulb best cardio options. Keycap 1 low intensity steady state, LIS. Right pointing arrow walking, cycling, swimming. Keycap 2 high intensity interval training, HIIT. Right pointing arrows short bursts of intense exercise with rest periods. Keycap 3 follow YouTube workouts. Right pointing arrow dance workouts, jump rope, Bodyweight hit sessions. Light bulb expert tip. If you hate running, don't force yourself to run. Find a form of cardio you actually enjoy: dancing, hiking, jump rope, swimming, anything that keeps you moving consistently. Move more throughout the day. NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. You don't need to be in the gym to burn calories. Your daily movement outside of workouts plays a huge role in fat loss. How to increase NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Checkmark take the stairs instead of the elevator. Checkmark walk or bike instead of driving for short trips. Checkmark clean the house. Do yard work, or organize your space. Checkmark stand up and stretch every hour if you work at a desk. Light bulb real life example. A friend of mine lost 10 pounds, 4.5 kilograms, just by increasing her daily movement. She didn't change her diet or add workouts, she just walked more, took the stairs, and played outside with her kids. Exercise supports fat loss, but the key is finding a movement routine that fits your lifestyle. Key takeaways. Checkmark strength training helps burn fat even when you're not working out. Checkmark walking is one of the easiest, most effective fat loss tools. Checkmark cardio is optional, choose what you enjoy. Checkmark daily movement matters just as much as workouts. Soon sign next up. How to stay consistent and make fat loss sustainable for life. Rocket. Sleep, the underrated fat loss factor. Most people think fat loss is all about diet and exercise. But sleep plays a massive role. If you're not sleeping well, you might find it harder to lose fat, feel more cravings, and struggle with low energy levels. Poor sleep equals hormonal chaos equals fat gain. When you don't get enough quality sleep, your body experiences hormonal imbalances that make fat loss much harder. Crossmark increased ghrelin, hunger hormone, makes you feel hungrier and crave junk food. Crossmark decreased leptin, fullness hormone, makes it harder to feel satisfied after meals. Crossmark higher cortisol levels, stress hormone, leads to fat storage, especially around the belly. Crossmark lower willpower and more cravings. You're more likely to eat emotionally and overconsume calories. Light bulb my experience. There was a time when I thought sleep wasn't that important. I stayed up late watching videos, woke up exhausted, and relied on caffeine and sugar to get through the day. My cravings were out of control, and my fat loss stalled. Once I prioritized sleep, I noticed an instant improvement in energy, hunger control, and overall progress. Are you really sleeping enough? Many people think they're getting enough sleep, but in reality, they're not. Checkmark check your sleep schedule. Are you sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night? Checkmark is your sleep deep and restful? Waking up tired means poor sleep quality. Checkmark are you consistent? Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your body's rhythm. Light bulb expert tip. If you wake up feeling groggy, you might need to improve your sleep hygiene. How to improve sleep for fat loss. Checkmark best sleep tips for faster fat loss. Checkmark set a fixed bedtime and wake up time, even on weekends. Checkmark limit screen time before bed. Blue light reduces melatonin. Checkmark avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. It stays in your system for hours. Checkmark keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Checkmark have a bedtime routine, reading, meditation, stretching. Light bulb simple change equals big impact. Even just 30 more minutes of sleep per night can make a huge difference in hunger control, energy levels, and workout performance. The truth about fat loss, no magic formula, just consistency. After everything we've covered, here's the ultimate truth. There's no magic diet, no perfect workout, no secret formula. The key to fat loss is simple but not easy. Find a plan that works for you. Stick to it with consistency. Turn healthy habits into a lifestyle. Fat loss isn't a quick fix, it's a long-term commitment to your health. Light bulb final advice. Right finger don't chase fad diets, focus on balanced eating. Right finger don't overtrain, find exercise you enjoy. Right finger don't rely on motivation, it comes and goes. Discipline equals results. Right finger be patient. Small changes over time lead to massive transformations. Ready to take action? If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Health and Life, Movie Camera. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video about fitness, health, and sustainable weight loss. Let's build a healthier life together. Rocket biceps. Right arrow comment below. What's your biggest struggle with weight loss? I'd love to help. Smile.